working to double underhooks. We're gonna warm up by working there from half guard, okay? So we're here, half guard, standard underhook, okay? We wanna get connected to our opponent's hips first. If you can just get an underhook right here, that's great, but the issue with going here first is they're able to push on you, okay, with that outside forearm, okay? So as you see, the double underhook is pretty tough to get right off of the bat. Okay, so that's why I'm connecting to the hips first, and then I'm going to get their knees out of alignment, as our goal is all the time, and that forces his hands more to the mat than before, okay? Now from here, we need to start climbing up our opponent's body, where we're doing that, outside leg, foot on the calf. Now from here is where we start to work up the body, okay? So make sure that you get this first, not here, okay? But right here, okay? Now, you essentially want to start working up the body, so we need 2 underhooks and 2 butterfly hooks, okay? When someone's dead weight on top of you, I would maybe do the high underhook, because you see here, it's pretty easy to grab. But they're going to be trying to disconnect and push you the whole time, and that allows you space to get your knee through, and also to get this underhook here. I'm staying tight. Whatever connection that I make, I'm just climbing up the body as much as I can until I get 1 butterfly hook and 2 butterfly hooks. And now we can be in this position where we have double butterflies, okay? So here, standard underhook, hip hug, hip shovel. We're in the low underhook series right now. Now I'm gonna start climbing up the body, okay? Joel's gonna start to disconnect with me. Okay, if you're having trouble, get your foot in. Maybe you need to let go of your underhook for a second, scoot back, get it right back, okay? But this is the goal that you're trying to do, all right? Person on top, you're trying to disconnect from your opponent, not going 100% yet, less than 50%, okay? So you're trying to break away from their connection completely. Person on bottom, climbing up the body, moving yourself underneath your opponent so that you can get 2 butterfly hooks, 2 underhooks, okay? Each time this happens, switch top to bottom. Make sure you're rotating sides to get comfortability, okay? 1, 2, 3. We are here, double butterflies. Great controlling position. There's a lot of things that we can do from here, okay? But it's the same concepts of all of our connection guard. If you're not focusing on disrupting your opponent's base and keeping their hands to the mat as much as possible, you're always going to have trouble, okay? It's not a lot of skill needed to put forearms into my neck here, okay? Forearms, yep. It's starting to push away and give me trouble here, okay? Not a lot of skill to try to stand up from here, okay? All right, so if you're focusing on just holding this nice and tight, you're gonna have a lot of trouble with all your positions, okay? So we need to make sure that we're keeping Joel's knees and elbows as far away from each other as possible, okay? And I'm going to initially be using my hooks to do that, okay? So you can start pulling them on top of you and start kicking bases away, all right? If you're having trouble with hands pushing on you, okay, anyway, get those hands off of you. First thing you can do is pull supine, okay? Other things that you can do is kick out that specific hand. Like let's say that Joel's right arm is starting to push on me. Kicking out that leg, he's got a post on the mat or he falls to his hip as you saw, okay? So, we'll do that again. Go ahead. Post on the mat. Good. Yes. So now we can make a mixture of pulling and pushing and kicking. You can even put your foot on the leg here, all right? Of course, we can upgrade in these positionings as well. What I want you to focus on this drill is just disrupting your opponent's base and keeping their hands on the mat as much as possible, okay? So what it kind of looks like, go ahead. Top person's going to try to be disconnecting this whole time. My job is just to keep their base disrupted. If they fall to a hip, just let them come back up. All right, as soon as he puts hands on me, I can pull him back, start hitting angles here, okay? So don't focus on any specific sweep, any specific technique. We are focusing on elbow and knee space and hands on the mat, okay? Any questions with that? Good? All right, we'll do it for a period of time and then I'll tell you when to switch top to bottom, okay? If you're in a group of 3, Just do like a few, like maybe like a minute or so and switch. Yes.
Should we be trying to keep our head below your head? I don't know if I'm.
Yeah, absolutely. Stay in tight. Great question. So, what are our core goals from here? Stay in chest to chest connection, okay, and stay in tight as possible. If your head is far away, you're more likely to get forearms in front of you. Of course, you can pull them on top of you and make them post on the mat, but if you can avoid it in the first place with tightness, do that. Great question. All right, anybody else? Good? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Those as our options. Those are great options of finishing either top chest to chest or getting to the chest to back position, okay? But one thing that's great about connecting to the core first is you can start to isolate arms and isolate legs, okay? So we're gonna start talking about isolating arms now. We're gonna get into more detail of the specifics of these two guards next week, okay? But, so, for the clamp guard, it's essentially isolating the arms, okay? I usually like to set this up off of a high underhook, okay? And anytime I'm like, me personally, I like to kick out any leg that I can kick out and cause major space between their elbow and their knee. That's the side I'm choosing for my high underhook, okay? And I'm starting to lean in this direction. So my grip is to the far side shoulder. I'm almost taking Joel's head down to the ground, and I usually try to go for the sweep first. If I don't feel the sweep is there, I put the foot on that far hip, okay? I need to slide out to this wrist, okay? So that foot on the hip is allowing me to start this process, okay? But now, after I get my foot there, this high underhook is kind of going to keep me stuck here, because you see as I push out, my grip is on the far side of Joel's neck. So I'm going to do two things. Let go of the grip and reattach on the other side, or I just slip the head out here. Either way, my elbow is in deep with this, almost like you're going for an inverted arm bar here, okay? If my grip is shallow, Joel is going to start to put that hand on the mat and extract his shoulder free here, okay? This grip is nice and tight, elbow deep over the shoulder. Try to pull it now. Not as easy, not impossible, but just not as easy. Also, I'm facing down towards the mat at all times. Even if my grip is deep, go ahead and pull your arm free now. Yep, hips to the ceiling, not good, okay? Try to pull it now, all right? So now, as you see, I'm pretty tight. So I switch from a high underhook. This is called a shoulder crunch, okay? Crunching the shoulder down. Think of like you're trying to submit an arm bar here. I want you to have that tightness the whole time. Now I need to slide out on the arm. I'm gonna start to push with my foot, push with my butterfly hook, and start to escape my hips here. As you see, I'm maintaining that downward pressure the whole time. Issue you're gonna have when you first do this is this, and you just gave them the arm slip. Not the end of the world. We can start to look towards the back now, okay? Just something to be mindful of. Nice and tight, sliding out, and you can get to where you have both feet on the hips if you'd like, okay? But after you're out here at the wrist, you can start to go for the clamp guard here, all right? Which is essentially just taking my foot from this near side hip, heel to that far side hip. I would not do that preemptive. What I mean by that is I would not throw this over early, because Joel's gonna be able to pressure into me now and flatten me out and give me trouble. Of course, we could start to threaten triangles during that time, but what's a little bit gooder is this. Try to flatten me out. Try to come into the closed guard. Yep. I'll even loosen up the arm. Go ahead. Just want to show you the concept of the legs here. All right. And then once I get out here on the wrist, now I'm here. All right. And we want to always be pressured down. Even though I'm here and I got everything right, as soon as I go towards the ceiling, he's going to push off of the mat, give me trouble. Of course, we can start to threaten triangles in that situation, but mitigation is always key. Let's do that same thing. Try to flatten me out. Yep, I'm focusing down on the mat. Keep trying, keep trying. As soon as I get my hips up to a certain spot, he can flatten me out. And if you got someone like Ron or Brant, you don't want to be right here. You'd rather avoid it at all costs. Okay, so our goal this time is to set up the clamp guard, all right? So 4 situations where their knees and elbows are far apart from each other. You see, starting to fall this side. I'm going to go and clamp guard on that side. All right, so I'm here, switch, staying nice and tight, and you get it. Okay? Sound good? Now, of course, if they're doing any of the other options, like really pushing you away, you can wrestle up. You can do all the things that you were doing before, but maybe just try to have a primary focus of setting up the clamp guard this time. Okay? So if you get to the clamp guard, that's a win. Sound good? Good? Top person is trying to disconnect. On 3. 1, 2, 3. More concepts. Okay? So we want to stay connected. Chest to chest. Chest to chest connection equals your grip connected around their back. Okay? So chest grip, gable grip, butterfly grip, whatever that you need to do. And make sure that you're controlling both hips. So if you start to lose a butterfly hook, we're getting that back. All right? And we're always maintaining those goals of keeping the elbows and knees as far apart from each other as possible. Okay? This is what's going to start to open up sweeps. All right? So don't go for the sweeps first. Go for the core concepts first. What I mean by that is, let's say that I'm trying a specific thing, but let's say that Joel's framing against me with his right arm. Okay? In any way. That's where the weakness is. The grip. Okay? I can't force Joel to post on the mat, but I can put him in a situation where if he doesn't post on the mat, he's going to create a scramble or allow me to get a sweep. Okay? So what I mean by that is I start to open this side of the base now because there's pressure on me. If Joel doesn't post on the mat, he falls to an elbow, and I'm either able to easily sweep here or create a scramble where I can win head height and come on top. Okay? So always be thinking of those things. All right? Well, let's start to think of other options that we can set up from here. Okay? So first one is obviously the high underhook. Let's say I'm kicking the base away here and starting to fall towards my right. That's probably the side that I'd recommend going for the high underhook. So we're switching gable grip to the far side of the neck. Not to the back of the neck, to the far side of the neck. Okay? If I'm here, and I pull Joel on top of me, and he posts on the mat. Right? That stops him from coming forward, but it allows me to get V grips in the armpits. And now I can start to offload his weight on me and start doing duck unders. So hands on the mat equals the opportunity to do a duck under. Okay? Another option that we have to think here is, let's say that Joel gets his hands on me and he's starting to create some space, moving back, giving me trouble. If I'm able to get my feet behind me and come up to my knees, I'm able to start wrestling up from here. Just make sure that we're not going directly back, because you see this can put too much load on his ankles and his knees. Always hit ankles. It's easier for one and safer as well. Okay? So we're trying for those 3 things for now. High underhook, duck unders, and wrestle ups. Okay? Usually make it simple. If you feel them pulling back, you're able to get your feet under you and come up to your knees, you're going to be able to wrestle up. Okay? If the hands are on the mat, you can maybe start for duck unders. Okay? You still can go for high underhooks with hands on the mat as well. So let's say we're here and it just doesn't feel right to do duck under. That's okay. I can go right to a high underhook. All right? So person on top, you're trying to disconnect from your partner completely. Person on bottom, you're trying to set up one of those 3 things. Okay? Now obviously, people with more experience, you can go past this, like getting the sweep, the top chest to chest position, the chest to chest position, or just a sweep of any sort. Essentially getting them to their hip for 3 seconds. Or if you set up the back, set up a submission, you guys can do what you want. But at least the first few reps, I recommend setting up these positions first, okay? So getting the setups is the focus this round, okay? Right? Good? On 3. 1, 2, 3. That's the beauty of this double underhooks position. You are connected to the core first, then you can start isolating the arms. That's going to be our strategy the whole time. We're going to be hunting that in over the weeks, but let's just get to the meat and potatoes of this, okay? All right, so we're here. Double underhooks. Another option that our opponent has is to start standing, okay? All right, so if he starts to stand, that opens up his hips for us to get underneath, okay? Let's go back to one. Let's go here. As soon as you feel a leg step up, we can slide underneath of our opponent's base here, okay? I want to get his hands on the mat first, though, all right? So what I'm going to do is 2 things at once. I'm going to pull Joe on top of me, and I'm going to kick the leg through that he stood up on, all right? I'm going to make sure that I keep a shin and a knee between me and Joel. Now I'm going to start to offload him towards the side of the butterfly hook. I want to make this leg light. If there's a lot of weight on this leg, you're going to have a hard time. But try to keep weight on this leg. Here. All right. Now what we can do is start splitting the legs. All right. So split the legs by using your hook. All right. If you can get your foot there, that's perfect. But let's just go heel to the hip for now. All right. What does this look exactly like? The clamp guard. It's the clamp guard of the legs. These are the same positioning here. I have the legs split. We have the arms split in the clamp guard. Instead of heel on the far side of the neck, I have it on the near hip, okay? And now from here, we can start to set up things where we're shelving the leg, keeping the legs split, and keeping their hands to the mat at all times, all right? Same concepts as before. My hips are facing to the ceiling. Go ahead and smash me. I'm gonna have some trouble here, okay? But go ahead and try to smash me again. And if I rotate down towards the mat, now try to smash me, okay? Good, and especially once you shelf the leg, try to smash me, try to stand up. Okay, they still can stand up, and you're not gonna be able to stop that, but we always want their hands to the mat. Keep those legs split, and from here, we can start to work up and reattach to the core, or start to isolate legs with the leg box, okay? So, that's if they step up one leg. They can also hop up and step up both before you're ready. That's okay, just make sure that you keep one shin in between your hips and their hips, okay? You don't want to do this unless if you want to pull them out and work your defenses, okay? So we're going to keep one knee to our chest, we'll Joe on top. Which way am I going to push them? Where? Yep, exactly. And we're into here, okay? Down towards the mat at all times. As soon as I'm here, I'm in trouble, right? So if that happens, we're rotating back down, all right? Now from here, we're gonna start, you can essentially try to work back to the core, but from more of a standing position. We'll get into more detail of that next week, okay? So person on top, you're trying to stand and disconnect, okay? Person on bottom, we're trying to set up X guard, any leg entanglement of some sort, okay? On three, 1, 2, 3.